Welcome to unit number 4 in our 3-minute series, this one on responsibility. Now, usually when people use the word responsibility, they talk about it like it's a burden or a duty or it's a heavy thing. The weight of responsibility was on his shoulders, or he took his responsibilities seriously. This kind of responsibility doesn't sound very fun. It doesn't sound very enjoyable. It sounds like something that we've got to lecture people about or induce them. But Gestalt, of course, doesn't like shoulds. We don't like forcing people to do things. We don't like telling them how their lives should be or what's the correct thing for them. In fact, what we want to do is we want to extend choice. Now, choice is at the heart of the Gestalt notion of responsibility. This derives from existential ideas, Sartre and others, who talk about the freedom of choice and how we're condemned to choice as human beings, how every moment, no matter what our circumstances, we can choose and we do choose. And when people have the experience of that, then they can find some freedom in their lives. Now, many people come to therapy burdened down, weighed down, overwhelmed, with little sense of agency, with a sense that other people are determining their lives or their happiness, often with a lot of blame or sometimes the experience of being a victim. And of course, people are victimized by certain circumstances, especially as children. So we don't deny any of that. What we do, though, is we kind of bring people to an awareness of the way that they make choices and the fact that they make choices and the fact that they can continue to make choices in their lives. That's very empowering once people really realize and feel that, but we can't lecture them about it. We've got to give them that experience. So the Gestalt experiment is often enabling people to explore new possibilities, and through doing that realize that the choices that they can make in the present and experiment with making new choices. It's tricky because often people have this sense of responsibility of, they're defensive against it, or like I say, they want to blame other people. So we have to be very careful as therapists not to blame people or to infer that being responsible for being a victim or something like that. What we do, though, is we try to open it up and help people become more aware of the choices that they did make, even if they might not have seen them, and become aware of the choices they're making in the present, become aware of the possibility of choices in the future. And when people really have that experience of choicefulness, that's when they start to find the freedom and the liberation of this type of responsibility. It's a very exciting area to work with, and it also requires a lot of skill because the therapist can't come across as the sort of moral authority on such things. It's the very opposite. What we're trying to do is we're trying to encourage and support people to take responsibility for who they are. And that's very key. Once you know what you feel and what's right for you, then with the right kind of support, when you step into putting that into practice in your life, then you feel more whole, you feel more autonomous. And that's the kind of, there's a balance between support, need a lot of it, and a little bit of challenge that people need to steer through this question of stepping into the fullness and the freedom of responsibility.